My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for Wendell and Wild. And if you know me, you know this was one of my most anticipated movies of this year. Henry Selick is one of my favorite directors ever. He's criminally underrated and doesn't make nearly enough movies. Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite Christmas movie. Yes, it's a Christmas movie. I will die on that hill. But it has so much personality. The characters are great. The story's great. The music's great. I just love everything about it. And the fact that Tim Burton gets all the credit for that one is completely unfair to the actual director. He also directed James and the Giant Peach, which is a fine movie. I like the animation style. It's pleasant enough. It's not his best work. He also directed Monkey Bone, which is the movie by him that everybody hates. And I would say that it's a less confident Henry Selick version of Beetlejuice in some ways. But the movie is so weird and bonkers and out there. And the last act just with Chris Kattan just cracks me up. I really enjoy that movie. I understand some of the negativity surrounding it, but I think it's much better than that. And he also directed Coraline, which is just in my top 5 movies of all time. That movie is perfection, great atmosphere, music, characters, story. The animation is stunning. Just love everything about that movie. But that was 13 years ago in the last movie he made. That is just unacceptable. I've been waiting for a new Henry Selick movie for so long. And it's finally here. I love the trailer that came out a month ago. I heard some really good things about it. And this is easily, like, not even close, his worst movie. This is an awful, awful movie to a shocking degree. Everything you'd expect me to like about it, I do like, but everything regarding the script and the characters is just a disaster. This movie is such an overstuffed, rushed mess of a movie, and I'm so disappointed. Like, this is my last night in Soho of 2022. There's one movie every year that I'm like, oh, I love the director, I love the look of the movie, it's going to be one of my favorites. And then I see the movie and I'm just like, oh no, that was really bad. And that's the case here. I'm pretty bummed out to say, but let's begin talking about what I did like, and it's the animation. It's stop motion, and if you know me, you know that I love stop motion animation. Two of my favorite movies this year are stop motion, The House and Mad God. Much better movies, by the way, that you should go watch. And I just respect the amount of hard work that goes into this, and I just love the visual look of it. And this movie does look amazing. The designs and the atmosphere of this movie are very different than everything else Henry Selick has ever made. I loved how he doesn't edit out the lines separating each piece of the doll in post production. He just leaves it there. And I think it really works for this movie. There's some usage of like green lighting that I liked, and there's moments where you can watch this movie and be like, ah, the craftsmanship behind it is so good. I just wish the story was better. I also do love the musical score by Bruno Coulouris. He did the music for Coraline, which is such a hauntingly beautiful score. Doesn't get the credit it deserves. The way he used a children's choir to just create this certain kind of atmosphere is very effective in that movie. He also did the music for Wolfwalkers, which should have won the Best Animated Picture Oscar that year over Soul. But I love the music in that movie, so he's a great composer, doesn't do much, but it was nice to see him compose music for this movie, and it's one of my favorite scores of the year. I think it adds to the atmosphere, and even though the movie's not good, it's an element of the movie I consistently enjoyed, and I also liked the soundtrack that was used. They were definitely going for a punk vibe with this movie, and the soundtrack enhances that every chance they've got. I will say though, for a kids movie, the end credits song is going, and listening to some of the lyrics, I don't think it's appropriate for a kids movie, but anyways, so the music, the soundtrack, the animation, all great. Everything else, atrocious. And when I say atrocious, I mean truly atrocious. Like, this story is just not good at all. And I knew that was going to be the case from the very first scene. Like, we've got the main character, Kat, with her parents, and they're driving, and she's eating an apple, and there's a worm inside the apple, and she screams, and that distracts the father to the point where he drives off a bridge, and they're drowning, and the mom saves the daughter, but then just stays in the vehicle and just accepts death. And that just didn't sit right with me. Why didn't the mom try to escape? And like all of this, because she ate an apple that had a worm in it, like it's not really something grounded in reality that could happen to anyone. And it felt so rushed, and I'm just like, like the emotional event at the beginning of the movie has to have some sort of weight to it for me to care, but it just had zero impact. Kat's quest to try to bring back her parents from the dead, just I couldn't care less about it because it was just founded in such a nonsense opening. So that really didn't work for me. And then there's just so much going on with this movie, with Wendell and Wild, and these human characters and cat characters, and it never feels connected. It feels like three very separate storylines that just don't really come together. You take a movie like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I know it's nothing like this movie, but you've got Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet's storyline, Joel and Clementine, and then you've got everything with Elijah Wood and Mark Ruffalo and Kirsten Dunst and Tom Wilkinson, and they seem completely separate at first, but by the end, it all comes together in such a pleasing manner thematically. And here, it just never does. Like, all these different stories, especially with Wendell and Wild's father, come into play later on in the movie, and you're just like, what's the point of that? And then there's this one character who's a demon hunter who ends up saving the day in some ways, and it's just, this wasn't set up to at all, and it was just garbage writing. Like, usually with movies, I can be like, I can seize the potential, and I just don't here. I see the potential with the animation and the craftsmanship behind this movie, but with the story, I don't see an ounce of potential because everything was as terribly handled as it could be. And the main storyline of this prison just added nothing to the movie for me. I feel like you could actually get rid of it entirely and have the movie play out almost the exact same way. And it's such a boring story, and it's so in your face with its politics. Like, this movie isn't subtle at all. So I really didn't like that. And it's just the fact that, like, you take these weird fantasy elements of Wendell and Wild, who live on their dad's bald head, making sure that he has hair, while his father runs this evil torture amusement park. And it's something so out there, something so unique and great. And then you take those elements out of the fantasy and you just ground them in this story where the bad humans are trying to get enough votes to create a prison complex. And just all the fantasy, all the magic just felt missing to me. And you just took the most unique elements and made them boring. And everything we got in the hair cream, bringing the thing that brings people back to life, just didn't work for me. Just use magic, just use spells. That I thought was really dumb. Like, makes hair appear on your head and brings back people from the dead. Just didn't really work for me. And then all the characters I found to be so flat and boring. Kat I never cared for at all. There's nothing about her that I liked. She feels guilt over her parents, story that I couldn't connect to, and then by the end, she just changes apparently, but I didn't buy her transformation at all. Then you've got Wendell and Wild, who, I'm going to be honest, even though I don't like the writing around them, they don't play into the story very well. Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele really do bring these characters to life in such a big way, and I enjoyed their voice performances. You've got Sister Healy, voiced by Angela Bennett, and I think this character is terribly written. There is a backstory to her, some similarities between her and Kat, but they just don't go into it enough, and this character just shows up a few different times, and then by the end, it's just, I'm supposed to really care about her relationship with Kat, and I just don't. And then we'll get to the elephant in the room, we got to a character named Hyo, and she is a trans character in a kids movie, and I am so against that. You want to put them in movies made for adults, go for it, but for a kids movie, I'm strongly against it. You're not telling kids that, oh, if you're born a certain way, you could always just change your mind. And that's not the way it works. I think it sends a bad message, and I'm shocked I didn't know about this character before the movie began, but as soon as I pieced it together, I'm like, oh, they really went there with that, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't think it's appropriate or acceptable for kids. Then you've also got James Hong playing this one character who's terribly written, but his voice performance is a lot of fun. And you've also got this one character, Sebian, who I kind of liked because they set her up like she's going to be this bully, but she's actually the complete opposite. She loves the main character, she wants to be friends with her, and Kat's the one who kind of pushes her away. And I would have liked for them to do something with that, but they really don't. And yeah, like, that's all I can really say on this movie. I like the animation, I like the music. There's this moment that happens in the movie where the main character got this evil thing on her hand, and it puts her hand in front of her mouth, and it speaks for her, and I liked that. But everything else in this movie I just found to be awful. The story is an overstuffed, rushed disaster with not an ounce of emotional care put into any of the characters. It all completely falls flat as the movie progresses, and the main story they're going for with the prison is just so in your face with its politics. It's very boring, and I was just bored while watching this movie. It's not this fun, chaotic, zany ride of a movie. It's just flat and dull, and as someone who loves Henry Selick, I really hope this isn't his last movie. He can't end his filmography with this one. I really hope he makes another one that's much better in every way. So I'm going to go ahead and give Wendell and Wild a 3.5 out of 10. Well, this was definitely the biggest disappointment of this year. But if you do want some good stop motion movies, like I said, check out Mad God. That movie is just pure atmosphere. It's beautiful yet disgusting and revolting, but it's really great if you like that kind of stuff. And The House, I thought, was a really terrific movie as well. It's got 3 different storylines, each unique in their own way, but the visuals are always strong. They're kind of horror stories in different ways, and I really like that movie, so check those ones out. But did you watch Wendell and Wild? Are you as disappointed with this movie as I am? Like, I've seen lots of good reviews for this movie, and I disagree with the critics a lot, but I really find the good reviews for this one to be baffling. But let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin out.